So what was the most difficult part in the early stage of the company's growth?
I think the most toughest part for any startup is to get the customers and their trust built into the company.
So what was the gap in the market that you identified?
The conversion of an idea to a finalized product, like creating a product that is market fit.
Okay. So can you explain your business model?
We have evolved over a period of time, and right now we are working in two models. One is fixed cost projects, where you can come, you tell us the idea, we'll help you develop it end to end, right from designing, website development, mobile app development, SEO services.
So why do your customers choose your product or services? Like why do they order again?
I think they're very kind. But it's my personal belief, and that is what I've been teaching my team also, that business and startups and relations, all of these things are built with relations. They're not, you just develop something that your customers ask and you deliver it to them.
Hi Sidharth, this is Krishani Poddar. I'm a community manager at Startup Lanes. I'm delighted you have taken out time for this interview. So can we start with your introduction?
Sure, I'm Sidharth. I'm the founder and CEO of GraffersID.com. We are a website and a mobile application development company. We majorly work with Series A to Series B funded startups. We have been very proud in saying that around 50% of our clientele today are unicorns, and around 80% of them are funded startups.
That's great. So how did you come up with the idea?
So I've been working in IT industry for quite a long time, and I've always been an enthusiast when it comes to startups. I've been looking out, I've been talking to people since my college days. I was doing freelancing. So I've seen all kind of challenges that entrepreneurs face. Over the years, I realized that there's a significant gap when it comes to taking an idea, thinking about the idea versus the final product that is built. And another major thing was that startup culture in India is still in the booming phase, right? So what happens is not everyone is a serial entrepreneur, and neither are they very technically oriented. Today, tech is extremely important for whichever field you pick. So that is where I felt that somewhere people need guidance, support, and awareness about what things work, what doesn't work. You cannot replicate the processes that you have offline directly online. There's a lot of brainstorming that needs to go to understand the possible loop.
Okay. So what was the most difficult part in the early stage of the company's growth?
I think the most toughest part for any startup is to get the customers and their trust built into the company. So I think that is to a certain extent, that was one of the challenges. But I think it got sorted out with time. We were never in a rush to really, the idea was never to make $1 billion company or be extremely big or anything that sort. But yes, we had a very clear mindset that we want to increase the startup success rate. And not just in India. When I say startups, I am really talking about the complete globe. So that was always been the idea. And when we were starting out, it was really tough to acquire clients in India, clients from abroad. Like I mentioned, we majorly work with Series A to B funded startups. So again, it was always tough, right? So that was one of the toughest things. But then I started writing a lot of good content. I reached out to people I was speaking with when I was a freelancer. And I've always focused on delivering whatever I commit to. Sometimes I prefer to do it even one step ahead. And luckily for me, the connection I had with my ex-customers and people I have almost 30,000 plus followers on LinkedIn. So they have been very kind enough to refer me to their friends and relatives. That is how, initially our customer base started to grow. Even today, when we really see our sales, around 80% of our sales comes from referrals and word of mouth. So we don't have a very big on marketing team. We are not very big on sales team. We are very focused on simply the content, simply the customers, talking to the customers and really understanding them, what they need, whether their idea is even mature enough to really take it out in the market or not. So that these are generally the kind of discussions we have with our customers.
That's great.
Getting a team which understands this kind of concept and considers the founder considers the startup as their own. first of all, finding these kind of people and then to train them into understanding what business and what founders would really need was, I think, even a bigger challenge versus the one that we had in the initial days.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we have definitely taken it heads on.
That's good. So what was the gap in the market that you identified?
The conversion of an idea to a finalized product, like creating a product that is market fit. So I'll give you a simple understanding. So it sometimes is a bit technical to understand. I'll give you a simple example. So one of our very first customers was an Australian-based company, just two guys. And these people wanted to create a logistics platform, right? Australian logistics is among the top 5 logistics areas in the world. And they wanted to create an application which could automate the complete portal, complete process. So they came up with a simple idea that let's just have both the parties, customers and the vendors on the platform and let them interact. Now, when we started brainstorming, we really thought that it's not going to work out. We told them 5 other things that could be added to the platform, which can make it really helpful for the end customers. They had the budget, they had the time frame. So we started doing it. We just created the prototype and took it out in the market. It was an instant hit. And Coca-Cola, right in the 6th month of the startup, invested in that company and incubated them. So that is the so that was our first customer, right? And from there on, it kept growing. Like the Coca-Cola had other portfolio companies. They started referring. Those companies started referring other guys from different big incubators, YC, Sequoia, Tiger Global, and then the portfolio kept increasing.
Okay, so can you explain your business model?
So we majorly we have evolved over a period of time, and right now we are working in 2 models. One is fixed cost projects, where you can come, you tell us the idea, we'll help you develop it end to end, right from designing, website development, mobile app development, SEO services, maintenance. So that's a fixed cost project. Another one is a dedicated developer. There are a lot of customers who need well-trained, really high-quality developers. So in that particular model, we give them a dedicated developer who works like an in-house team for them. And the engagements generally are on contractual basis for a year or 2.
Okay. So what are the products and services that you offer?
So currently we are offering 4 types of services. One is UI UX designing, where we design the complete application or a website. And second one is website and mobile application development. Third one will be SEO. And the fourth one is this dedicated developer model that we work.
That's great. So who are your target customers?
Target customers are tech startups, generally who have gone to a level of series, who have raised Series A round and Series D, because after that it really expands up the domain where there's a very high level of internal discussions, demands, and a thought process towards the next goal which is required. So especially at that phase, we feel it is better if the customers have their own team, because then you need to have a lot of mutual brainstorming and very closely connected network. Till Series D, I think that is where you become $1 billion company, and till that time, I think it's all about fast-paced growth, understanding the customers, understanding what they need, what should be the next features, what will fit in the market. So it's still like growing stage, I feel. Series A to D. So that is where we are majorly targeting the startups.
Okay.
Yeah. We are working majorly with Australian, Singapore, US, India, Dubai, and UK based clients.
Okay. So why do your customers choose your product or services? Like, why do they order again?
I think they are very kind. But in totality, I feel it's that kind of it's my personal belief, and that is what I've been teaching my team also, that business and startups and all of these things are built with relations. They're not, you just develop something that your customers ask and you deliver it to them. That is not good enough in today's market anymore. you need to think 10 steps ahead, because see, those guys may not be serial entrepreneurs. So they might not know how the market would accept, right? Those guys may not be, somebody who's very technical. So you need to tell them, you need to build a relationship over time. You need to, when their business gets hurt, you should feel bad. If their product is delayed to the market, you should feel bad, because eventually at the end of the day, you're going to work with that client for the next 1 year, 2 years, and it's kind of a relationship that you need to form with them, right? You need to feel like you are connected, you are very closely connected with them. And that is one of the reasons why our customers love us and they keep coming back to us. It's also that we don't leave them that easily. We
That's
keep in
great.
touch with them, and we always congratulate them on their funny incidences. When we completed our third year of a startup, some of our customers actually flew down to India to congratulate and to celebrate with us. And one of the time when one of our customers was raising fund, I took the complete team who was involved in that particular project to Singapore, and we celebrated their funding, and we had an intense amount of party. So,
That's
so
great.
these are the kind of things I think that matter.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what are the 3 unique things about you that make you better than your competitors?
I really don't understand the concept of comparisons, to be honest. I really feel they are good at what they do and we are good at what we do. I think the market is too big to really see them as a competitor. I rather prefer to see them as colleagues. And I honestly feel that if instead of competing with somebody, if you plan on mutually growing, let's say there are 1,000 unicorns in India, right? Then automatically it will encourage more investors, more companies, more product owners to come to India and to do business with us, right? So
Yeah.
instead of looking to them as competitors, I prefer to look at them as colleagues. So often, I am very closely connected. I mean, I run 3 groups myself. I'm the admin for them. There are more than 20,000 entrepreneurs across the globe who are connected on these platforms. And I'm very open in sharing growth hacks that we have used, journey that we have achieved, some of the way common problems that people face and helping each other out. It's a very closely connected community, and we are all, you will be surprised that around 30% of people in the group are IT company owners. And then there is a very open discussion about no matter, even it's about employee retention, it's about customers, it's about a specific market, like what's happening in Europe, why is the market going down. So there are all, even the effects of Brexit, COVID and lockdown in Australia. So all of these things are very openly discussed there.
Okay. So, why should a job applicant work with you?
Job applicants should work with us if they want to work for somebody. I won't say really work for somebody, but if they want to take their career to the next level. There are very few companies, I still feel. India is still growing and there are amazing companies coming up. But there are a lot of few companies which really give you the kind of exposure that you should get, right? Again, comparing it to the current education system, you get to learn a lot of things which may be irrelevant. And sometimes you get stuck with what has been given to you, you are not able to explore or learn. That is where companies like us come into the picture, which says ki you are the owner of the person whom you're talking to, you are the owner of the project that you're doing. If you feel that there are these 3 things that needs to be added, you are free to talk to the customers, ask them to incorporate these particular changes, be the owner of what things you do. I mean, we are not creating employees. We are not here to give salaries. Of course, we do that, but that is not our only job, right? We are here to create future entrepreneurs. Today, I'm very connected with all the ex-employees that we have ever had. And there have been instances when my employee came up to me and said, sir, I got an offer to be the CTO for one of the companies. Should I take it? And I have told them that, as a CEO of a company, I may feel that, no, you are a very good employee and you're a very good resource to us. I don't want to lose you. But if I talk on a personal level, then I think this is a fantastic opportunity and you should definitely take it. So we don't have an ecosystem of employees or boss. It's a very flat hierarchy that we have. We don't have hierarchy. It's a very flat structure that we have in the company. And we believe that people should take the ownership, be the bosses of their own, or to create an ecosystem of startups in India.
Okay, that's great. So if it wasn't for your company, what you would be doing right now?
I probably would be trying for an internship with Mr. Ratan Tata or Elon Musk. Definitely.
Okay. So
I actually had an option. I mean, before starting the company, I had an option. So I was working with Accenture previously, and I had an option to go to US for the work. So I was handling one of the projects for a US based client, and being a fresher, we sold that project for almost $1 billion to one of the customers. I mean, it was supposed to take off, and so from there the opportunities kept rising on, and there were a lot of things that were supposed to happen. But I felt like there's still a lot of scope in India. It's one of the biggest market and the fastest growing market. So why not do something?
that's great. So what are the products and services that you required for your business?
Having good people, an amazing team is something that every entrepreneur dreams for. And those are exactly the kind of things. What I really crave for is a very good ecosystem. So we are based out of Indore. We have offices in two more cities, Ahmedabad and Mumbai. And we are currently still expanding. We have sales offices in 4 countries, Australia, Singapore, London, and US. So yeah, I think we are growing in that terms, and to expedite this growth, we are really looking for people who have a very strong mindset, who really want to be the best at what they do. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to be the best today, but you need to have that kind of a mentality. So we have a very common saying in our company: hire for attitude, train skills. So our HR would write this tagline on her desk and all, every day look at it before she works. So these are the kind of people that we are really looking for, people who are extremely good, talented, not just people, but even companies, who have this kind of a mindset that they want to do something good, not just for the money. Like money should be a byproduct of things that you do. It should not be the aim of what you do.
Absolutely. So on which parameter do you select your vendors and suppliers? Price, quality, or convenience?
I would say it's a mix of quality and attitude. I won't say really convenience or all of that stuff, because it is very manageable. Even when you're talking to your customers, I would say there is very less time when you actually spend on discussing the price and the availability and the working hours in which they should be working. So I would say it should be a mixture of their quality and their attitude.
So what are your recent and long-term plans for your startup?
So we started with a consultancy where we were just helping people with ideas and the processes. Then we felt like, okay, this is time when we need to, give our own developers, maintain the quality of the product. Then we felt like once the startup is launched, the most important thing is marketing, the SEO services basically. So that is what we started around a year and a half back, and we have had amazing response from our clientele for that particular service. Next thing, what we are doing is we are trying to create an incubation where we are also planning to give funding. So we have a very close network of investors. Like I mentioned, we are working with a lot of VCs and major incubators. So we have a network, and we are planning that any good startups that are doing good in their own domain, and if they are our customers, then we will be introducing them to our customers and to other people who might be of help. So we are trying to create this kind of an incubation in-house itself. We are very soon launching a new office in which we will be physically incubating the companies for mentorship and guidance.
Okay, that's great. So are you raising external funds, or are you willing to raise external funds in the near future?
No, so we are completely bootstrapped. services is good in itself. So along with services, we also create our own products. I sold my last product for close to $1 million to a US based company, and we will be creating more products in the future, for which we might plan to raise funds. But as for GraffersID, no, we are not planning to raise funds. I think our customers are our biggest investors.
Okay, so what is your feedback on Startup Leads?
I think it's great. The kind of work that you guys are doing, the kind of stories that you guys are bringing up, and the services that you are providing is phenomenal. With the way Indian startup ecosystem is developing, I think we need more of you guys.
Thank you so much. So now we have come to the end of this interview. Sidharth, thank you so much. It was great talking to you. I'm sure that the information provided by you in this interview will help the budding entrepreneurs and the founders to pave their way to their success. We hope to connect with you in the future. Thank you so much, Sidharth.
Thank you so much for having me.